Now, this is pretty much the same as what we have done thus far. They say very stores sells for cash and on credit. On 1 April 2021, the balances of their debtors are as follows. Biscosana is owing us 500 and Kaylee is owing us 400. So there's only two debtors. That will give us the balance for our debtors control. 500 plus 400 will give us the 900 that they gave us. They gave us as a balance at the beginning of the month, which is the 1st of April 2021. I will simply record those three amounts. I will start with my debtors control in the general ledger. Remember, debtors control is an asset account. It goes up on the debit side whenever we sell goods on credit to customers. It goes up at selling price. Okay. Now, balance on the 1st of April 2021 under debtors control will be that 900 rand. Then we're going to go to the individual debtors ledgers of those two debtors. I will start with Kaylee. For Kaylee, I'll have invoice. In this case, there's an invoice, but under invoice, in this case, I won't put anything, but I'll have the 1st of April 2021 balance at the beginning of the year, which is balance brought down, will simply be 400. And I've explained that this account will go up on the debit side whenever Kaylee buys from us on credit. It'll go down on the credit side whenever Kaylee returns goods to us. Whatever comes to this account must always be at selling price. Okay. I'm going to go to B's Kosana's account. I will simply have 1st of April and I'll have balance brought down, which will be, in this case, for B's Kosana is 500. For KD, it was 400. Okay. Now I can start reading my transactions. And then they say, because I'm not giving any balances. If the balances are not given to you in the information booklet, they have probably been entered for you in the general ledger. Okay, so they have been entered for you in the general ledger. Here they told us that we sold merchandise to Kaylee for 920. 920 is the selling price, and the cost price of those goods is 690. So when we record this, we're going to record it in the debtors journal because we sold goods on credit. Whenever we sell goods on credit, it will be recorded in the debtors journal. We're going to have invoice PQ12, and then we're going to have the 5th KD. On the debit side, it's 920, and on the under sales, it's 920, and under cost of sales, it will be 690. And then I will go to the debtors ledger of Kaylee, and I will simply write there the date, which is the 5th, and then I will have invoice, which is BQ12, and under invoice, I will have DJ. It will be recorded on the debit side, which is 920. 920 plus 400 will give us a new balance, which will be 1,320. On the 7th, Kaylee complained about the quality of some of the goods supplied to him on the 5th, which was obviously those goods that we bought for 920. A credit note number C12 for 160. 160 will be the selling price and the cost price will be 60 rand was issued to him for the goods returned. That transaction will be recorded in the debtors allowances journal. Now, in our debtors allowances journal, we will simply have C12 and it's supposed to say credit note number, and the day will have the 7th. Kaylee is the data. On the debit side, we'll have 160, and under cost of sales, we will simply have 60 rand. Now, that transaction, as I've said, will be recorded in the debtors ledger of Kaylee. But on which side of Kaylee's account are we going to record that amount? We are going to record it on the credit side, and we will simply record only the selling price of goods returned. Remember, Kaylee at the moment is owing us 1,320. That will be reduced by the transaction on the 7th, which is credit note C12. And under invoice, you'll have debtors allowances general. The selling price of the goods returned will be recorded on the credit side. Now, when you find the new balance, you will take 1,320 minus 160. 1,320 minus 160. 1,320 minus 160, and that will give us 1,160 because an allowance reduces what the debtor already owes us. On the 12th, we sent invoice BQ13 to Biscosana for goods which he bought on credit from various stores. The selling price of those goods is 1,800 and the cost price is 1,320. This will be recorded the same way we recorded the transaction that happened on the 5th. It will go straight to our debtors journal. It'll be BQ13. We will have, day will be the 12th. Data is Biscosana on this. Under sales, we have 1,800. And the cost of sales, we have 1,350. This will also be recorded in Biscosana's debtors ledger account, and it will be recorded on the debit side because Biscosana is buying more goods on credit, reducing what Biscosana, well, actually increasing what Biscosana already owes us. Biscosana already owes us 500 when now Biscosana has added to his debt. So we will simply take that 500 added with 1,800. It'll give us 2,300. On the 15th, it said Biscosana complained that he was overcharged by 80 Rand in invoice number BQ13. On invoice number BQ13, a credit note for the amount was sent to him. So that is an allowance, okay? That 80 Rand is an allowance. Remember what I've said, with allowances, they will be recorded in the debtors allowances journal, but allowances do not have what? Allowances do not have cost of sales. So when I record it in the debtors allowances journal, I will write it as C13. The 15th data is Biscosana. Under debtors allowances, I will have 80 Rand and the cost of sales. It's either you write dash or you write zero. Don't just leave it. You write dash or zero. Okay. And then on the 24th, it says that we supplied merchandise to Biscosana for 2,400. The cost price of those goods was 1,800. A cash slip for half the amount was issued to him. So we know that half goes to CRJ and half goes to DJ. So I will record the part that goes to the DJ first. In this case, I did not ask students to complete the CRJ. So I'll have BQ14 on the 24th. I will have Biscosana. Under sales, I'll have 1,200. Under cost of sales, I'll have 900. That will be recorded under Biscosana's debtors ledger account. I will have the 15th invoice. It's actually oh, now here I'm recording that allowance that I forgot to record of 80 Rand. Sorry for this, which reduces what Biscosana was owing us from 2,300 to 2,220. Now I'm going to record the transaction that we just did right now, which is transaction that happened on the 28th for BQ14. It will be recorded on the debit side at selling price, re-increasing what Biscosana owes us from 2,240 to 3,420. Please note that this 3,420, just highlight it because we're going to use it later, okay? Going back to the question, and in this question here, okay, in this question, it says that we issued BQ15 to Kaylee together with merchandise, and the selling price of those goods was 1,160. The dates here are a little bit incorrect. I will fix them later on. That transaction will be recorded in the debtors journal, just like we normally do. And you just find the total because that is the last transaction. And then we're gonna go to Kaylee's account. In Kaylee's account, we will simply, okay, I've already recorded that. We will simply record the transaction on the 28th. It'll be on the debit side, increasing this amount to 2,320. And then on the 29th, it says Kaylee sent back goods which he had not ordered. Those goods that were not ordered, they gave us the selling price of the goods, which is 240. The cost price of those goods will be 180. That transaction will be recorded in the debtors allowances journal. It's not an allowance, therefore it will have cost of sales. So we'll have C14 Kaylee under debtors allowances, which is the selling price of goods returned. We will record 240 and the cost of sales will record 180. This was the last transaction. I'll just total everything up. That also affects Kaylee's account. It will reduce Kaylee's account. The return of goods reduces the debtors ledger by the selling price on the credit side. Note that under folio I wrote debtors allowances journal. You will take the 2,320 minus 240. It'll give us 2,080. Highlight it as well. Those two amounts that I've highlighted thus far for Kaylee and Biscosanam will be taken to the debtors list. And in the debtors list, we will have Kaylee, which is 2,080, Biscosanam. It will be that amount that we just highlighted now, which is 3,420. When you add them up, they will give us the total amount that is owed to us, which will be 5,500. Okay. Once I'm done with that, I will simply go straight to my ledger account. We have done trading stock. Please note that in this case, your trading stock normally, the balance is given to you as 10,500, but it normally decreases by the cost price of goods that were. Now we're gonna have cost of sales, and then I will simply have DJ, which is 3,810, and this represents the total amount of cost of sales that was recorded in the debtors journal. There it is over there, which is 3,810. It will be recorded on the credit side of your trading stock account. There were no goods that we sold where they were. There were goods that we sold for cash, so that will also reduce our trading stock account. So our trading stock account will also decrease by the cost price of goods that were sold for cash. And that cost price, let me just go back to it. It was half of 1,800. Half of 1,800 will be 900. So your trading stock must also go down at 900. But before that, I will increase my trading stock account by the cost price of goods that were returned. I will write this as cost of sales that comes from the DAJ, and that is the total of your cost of sales column in the DAJ. And your total of your cost of sales column in the DAJ is 214. This stock came back to us. That's why we will record it on the debit side and then decrease this by the cost price of goods that were returned. Okay. I'm just highlighting this here that whatever I recorded here will be the cost price of goods that were returned, which will increase your trading stock account. And then it will decrease by the cost price of the goods that we sold for cash, which was 900, giving us a balance of our trading stock will be balance carried down. It will be 5,790. So you will simply add the two amounts, actually amounts on the debit side and the credit side, and take the bigger side minus the smaller side, and you'll get that balance carried down of 5,790, which represents stock that has not yet been sold, stock that we still have on hand. Okay. The contra account to trading stock will be cost of sales, which goes up whenever goods are sold. I didn't have any balance for cost of sales, so I'll just have trading stock, which is DJ, it was 3,810. And I also have trading stock, which comes from CRJ. In this case, it was, how much was it? It was 900, okay? Amount of the decrease, as I've mentioned, will be the 2,240, resulting in us having a balance carried down. And a balance carried down for us will be 4,470, which we will bring it forward to the following month, and that will be 4,470. Okay. Now let us look at debtors control. Debtors control, as I've said, will go up on the debit side whenever we sell goods. So on credit, that is, it'll go up by sales figure, and the sales figure in this case, it will be that 5,080, which is the total of your sales column from your debtors journal, that 5,080. It will, however, decrease by the selling price of goods that we return, which is the total of your debtors allowances in your debtors allowances journal. It is this total here, which is 480. That's the one that we are going to reduce our debtors control amount by, giving us a new balance carry down, and the new balance carry down for our debtors control. I started with brought down will be 5,500. All right. Another account that we haven't done will be sales. Please note that we're going to record only sales here. Balance brought forward for sales, it was 0. We sold goods for cash, which was 1,200. We also sold them on credit, and that was the total of your debtors journal. In your debtors journal, the total of sales in your debtors journal, which is 5,080. Note that this account will be closed off, meaning that it will be reduced by the total of your debtors allowances at the end of the financial year. Okay, for now, we will simply leave it like that. All right. And I just want to go back to our debtors control. The balance brought down for our debtors control, how much is it? It is 5,500. It must be the same as the total in your debtors list. Let's check how much it was here. It should be 5,500 as well, which is indeed correct. Please try this classwork quickly. Prepare this. And then this. For trading stock, balance brought down will be given to you as this. And for debtors control, you should be able to work it out actually. Sales, the balance will just be 0. And then for cost of sales, your balance brought down will also be 0. All right. Don't forget to prepare debtors ledger for KE, debtors ledger for Biscosana, and the debtors list. Okay. What's on for now?